to take this stuff off.
In case you need it. Well, all right then. Now we're finally here and doing this. Welcome to Josh Interview Sessions 1, I guess. I don't know what we want to call this.
Yeah. I don't know. Through hell and back, maybe?
On the Rocks, the real one.
On the Rocks, the real one. So how do you want to start this?
I don't know. I guess, just tell me why you're here. Why we're doing this. Why we're doing this like this.
Well, I want to tell my story that began in September through a really rough breakup and just how depression made it worse, and to raise awareness for depression and mental illness. So I guess I'm going to look into the camera now. I'm going to say my name is Liam Wallace, or William Wallace, whichever you prefer. So call me Lamb. And I have severe depressive disorder and alcoholism. And this is my story.
So let's just do a timeline then. Start when, like, it all started going downhill, essentially.
It all started going downhill in September when I found out my girlfriend, Caitlin, was hanging out with a guy that I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
And I already had suspicions that she was messing around, and we kind of addressed that, but we would fight about it and stuff. So I said some passive-aggressive things that she didn't like, and she got mad at me. That night, she ended up hanging out with him until 1:30 in the morning, which really threw me off, so I got shit-faced. I mean, almost a half a handle of whiskey. Then the next day I woke up and I was in bad shape. I just got fired from a job. I just dropped out of school for said job, and now she's mad at me, so I'm not doing well. I asked her to come over. I need her to come over. I'm freaking out. I'm sobbing. I'm having trouble right now. I need you to come over.
And that was back when you had, like, the tech job of, like, the lighting the show, the show thing that you did?
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
It was called. I forgot what it was called, but it was at Merriweather.
Yeah.
And anyway, she said she couldn't because she was hanging out with this guy again. So that made it worse. Mm-hmm. Eventually, she comes over, probably after she got off, right? And is that too harsh to say?
No. You be as free as you want on this.
But eventually, she came over. I'm on my steps, crying, thinking I'm going to kill myself. I already told my mother, and she was going to take me to the hospital so we could talk it out, get some feedback from doctors about what was going on. Mm-hmm. At this point, I'm sober. She comes over, we start talking, and essentially she breaks up with me. She says she can't deal with this anymore, and this is the first depressive episode I've ever had in my life. We go to the hospital. The whole time I'm begging her for her back and trying my hardest to get her attention on the phone. And she's like, we can't talk right now, blah, blah, blah. It didn't work. The next day, I'm feeling better. They let me out of the hospital. I didn't go to inpatient or anything yet. And I buy her roses and write her a note. Mm-hmm. That didn't do it. I keep asking for her back. It's not working. Calling her, crying, and basically being pathetic.
Yeah. In
her words, exactly. Skip forward to November. During that time, I went clean because in the hospital they did a blood test and they said my liver enzymes are through the roof and it was really unhealthy. And the alcoholism is making my depression worse. So the best thing for me to do is go clean. I was like, it's fucking great. I'll go clean and she'll take me back, right? So skip forward to November. This is after I keep saying that, but there's so much shit that happened in between that time. But this is after my first inpatient visit to Shepherd Pratt in Ellicott City. That didn't go too well. I went there for help because I made a plan to kill myself, and I told people, and I eventually told my psychiatrist, and he was like, look, we need to get you an inpatient. This is huge. The first person I actually told was my ex-girlfriend, thinking she wouldn't care, and she was the one that made me call my psychiatrist. So I guess I'm thankful for that. And my friends are too.
We are, very much.
But,
absolutely.
Yeah, in inpatient, I got enamored with this girl, Catherine. Like, I fell for her, and I fell for her hard. And she was cool. She reciprocated at first, but we got out, and after a month or so of everything going well, she ghosted me, which I already been hurt at that point by Caitlin, so I was kind of like, fuck it, I don't care anymore. So I start talking to Caitlin again, and one day, shit gets real bad, and I relapse. I start drinking again. I text her. I said, I relapsed. I need someone to talk to. Can you help me? Because she was my best friend for 4 years. I thought we were going to be friends. I thought we were going to help out each other. She says, don't talk to me. Lose my number, lose my name, block this number. I don't want to talk to you ever again. I said, okay, well, before we do that, there's some shit I got to say. Mm-hmm. So I say my shit basically saying, this is why our relationship didn't work out. You never helped me. This isn't a one-sided thing. You did some terrible things to me too. Stop acting like you have this high horse to sit on, is essentially what I said. I don't remember the exact text. She replied with, you're a lunatic, which hit me real hard because I just got out of inpatient. I'm going through all this shit. And yeah, she called me a lunatic. And then I said to her, when I finally kill myself, don't come to the funeral. Which she replied with, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. And then she blocked me from anything and everything. So then I started drinking again. I was real lonely, didn't have anyone. And that's the biggest part of my issues is I'm dependent. And I know that. And I'm trying to...
So you're aware that you're an alcoholic, that you're not just a user, an abuser.
Yes. Okay. But I'm dependent on people for my happiness. And that's very dangerous because it ends up the way it ended up.
Yeah. You can't have alone time, essentially.
Yeah, exactly. Like, today, I was hitting up everyone I knew, trying to hang out with someone because I was alone.
You wanted to come to this way earlier.
Yeah. Because I just couldn't be by myself and the depressive thoughts would kick in.
Yeah.
Well, I relapsed, and this time twice as bad. I was drinking twice as much, getting into real bad shape, and eventually one day, I got real depressed. I don't even know what triggered it or whatever you want to call that, but I got super depressed, and I sat down. I'm crying. I'm drunk as shit. And I remember from doing the inpatient and outpatient stuff that journaling really helped me. So I slap out a journal, I start journaling, and the first thing I write is, Mom, I'm sorry. Which then initially it turned into a suicide note.
And this is the most recent time?
This is the most recent.
Okay.
This was February 8th. Today's February 25th.
Yes.
Yeah, I started journaling. I started writing a suicide note, and it was split up the section to my parents, to my siblings, to my friends, to my boys is what I called it. And then I had a final one that was to Caitlin, basically blaming her for this. Which and in hindsight, it's not all her fault. I keep bringing her up with the friend group and everything and trying to blame her, but there's something wrong with me. I have a chemical imbalance in my brain that says, hey, look, you can't be happy unless you have pills. And that night when the stress of getting a new job and the stress of going back to school and the stress of her not being there for me and everything just kind of caved in on me, and I was in this real bad place. And after I wrote the note, I looked to my side and there was a plastic bag. So I took the plastic bag, I put it over my head, tied a knot in the back, and I was expecting to kill myself. About 3 minutes pass, not able to breathe. My lungs, I can feel collapsing on themselves, which is the worst feeling I've ever felt in my life. And I've self-harmed before. But it was horrible, and then I guess my instincts kicked in, and I ripped a hole in the bag, passed out, went to sleep. Woke up in the morning disappointed as hell that it didn't work. It wasn't like I regretted it in the moment. I wanted it to work. And that morning I finished one of the drinks that I had left over from the night before, went outside for a smoke, and was thinking, all right, how am I going to do it tonight? Tonight's going to work. And the more I thought about that in this, let's be real, from the amount I would drink and just one drink in me, from the sober state of mind, I was like, I need to get help. I need to go back to inpatient. This time I need to do it right. So that day, luckily, I had a appointment with my therapist. So I told him, and he's basically said, oh my God, I can't believe you tried that. What are we going to do? What do you want to do? And I said, I think I need to go back to inpatient. So this time I went to inpatient Towson University, not Towson University, I'm sorry, Shepherd Pratt Towson campus. And there, initially they put me in the CAU, which is a holding unit. And for people that are waiting to go to other units for open beds and stuff. And I met a lot of great people there that helped me out. This one woman, Cheyenne, I was talking to her about my relationship and how it crumbled underneath me. And she said, don't worry about it, because what she was looking for wasn't something you could give her. She was looking for this fairy tale life and this fairy tale marriage where nothing bad would ever happen, but that's not reality. You know?
Yeah.
You need to find a woman that expects shit to happen and is willing to stand with you through that. And I was like, all right, okay, that's great. I love hearing that. I moved from the CAU after I told him how much I was drinking to something called co-occurring. Co-occurring means you have an addiction and you have a mental illness. Mine was alcoholism and severe depressive disorder. There, everything was... It was weird at first because there was no one my age really down there except for one girl named Luna, who I've grown close with and I call while she's in rehab. I don't want to give her story up too much because privacy, but she's a great girl. Got a lot going for her, and she's a good friend. She helped me out a lot through a lot of this. They let me go to group therapies twice a day on another unit called Young Adult, where there it was people my age, and there they focused more on my depression rather than focusing on my alcoholism, because that's what I wanted to do, which again I'm grateful for. And in one of the group therapies, I ended up breaking down, talking about Caitlin, and getting close to sobbing in front of people I didn't know. They had me relive the breakup, which was good, which was very good, because I realized that more and more she's not the person that I'm looking for.
Yeah, you're trying to find essentially an enemy to pin this all on, of like, this is all your fault.
Yeah.
This is because of you, not because of me.
Yeah, but it is because of me. It is a lot. I did a lot of wrong in the relationship. I did a lot of wrong in my own life. I was drinking close to a water bottle's worth of vodka every night in the span of 3 hours. And when I relapsed, that was twice a day. Mm-hmm. And I would just either, if I wasn't sleeping, I was drinking. Mm-hmm. And when I was let out, I found out a lot of stuff about Caitlin, new boyfriend, she's partying, she's become a completely different person. And I wanted to cry, but that just turned into rage. Like today I found out she went to a play at Carroll, and you know what, I'm not going to talk about that. Cut that.
Okay.
I'm not going to talk about that. But yeah, my love turned to rage, and now I'm in the anger state of grief when it comes to her. But they've given me new medication and new ways to deal with it. They gave me something called Antabuse for my alcoholism, which means in my body now there is a allergy to alcohol. And if I drink it, I can get violently ill. So I'm planning to stay away from all the hooch.
Good. Yeah. As you should. So my question in this is, for people who do have depression, like I personally, do I feel sad? Are there been moments in my life, especially recently, where I just feel awful and miserable? Absolutely. But how much of it would you say is a health thing and then just a you thing? You know, how much of it is, for you personally, how much of it is like, you know, physically and like health-wise and your body-wise, you can't do this because of a chemical imbalance, and like, then what is the percentage that is, it's you that you need to change and you need to pick up ship?
I want to say 70-30.
Okay.
I'm already working on the changing aspect of it. I'm going to the gym. I quit drinking. I got a new job. Hanging out with my friends more. I'm really trying to integrate myself in society and surround myself with people and not be such a sad sack. The other 70% is just the depression, and it holds you. It's like this black tar that just sinks over you. Like today, I was alone for most of the day, and it just found that opportunity, and it latched onto it. And like I said, it's like this big beast made of tar that just you can feel inside you. And for me, it is a constant resting low, where happy times are so hard to find. And even then, the depression drops, and I have depressive episodes, and it gets worse and worse. The other day, I had my first panic attack, which could be from quitting alcohol, it could be from one of the new meds, but I never experienced that before in my life, and I don't know what the trigger was. Something just happened where my hands went numb, my face went numb, my hands began to shake, I got really lightheaded, and my heartbeat was through the roof, and I couldn't control my breathing. And in that state, just I was bombarded with negative thoughts about everything and anything.
And now you're here.
And now I'm here.
Now you're here.
That was 2 days ago, actually.
And that was when you vomited.
And I vomited 4 times.
4 times. Very proud of you.
4 times.
I wish you had told me so we could have videotaped it. I think, for me personally, I guess it's just a state of personal belief. Because for me, what I've realized in life, because I believe fully that everybody handles their problems their own way, and everyone handles the situation differently. I've come to the realization that there's always going to be something that I'm going to be very upset about, and there's going to be something I'm very happy about. And recently, I won't get personal for myself, because I want this to be more about you than me. I realize, like, I have to put it into filmmaking. I have to put it into all this, because, like, if I don't, then God knows something that could happen to me. Now, personally, for me, I absolutely fear death. I just the idea of being comfortable with, like, being like, yeah, it's done. I just can't even wrap my brain around.
That's the huge difference between someone with depression and without depression.
Yeah.
If you're having thoughts of suicide, even passing thoughts where, oh shit, the normal human being does have what would it be like if I were dead? What would my family?
Just the morbid curiosity.
Just the morbid curiosity. Yeah. But if you are planning, and if you are thinking about it on a regular basis, you need to seek help.
Okay.
Like, some people are scared of medication. I was at first. I thought I'd, like, lose my edge. I thought I wouldn't be as funny. I thought I'd be numb.
Yeah.
But it doesn't do that.
Well, you're still very funny.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That helps a lot. But, yeah, for those people that are in a low pit and scared to talk to anyone, fucking voice yourself, man. I mean, reach out to someone. Reach out to anyone and just say, these are the feelings I'm having. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes people don't answer. I get that. I've lived that. But reach out to a close friend. Reach out to your parents. Call a psychiatrist. Call a therapist. Especially psychiatrists and therapists, that's their job, is to help you. Yeah. I understand the stigma of not wanting to open up to someone like that and having issues, voicing everything that you've been through. But that's their job, man. And it's their job to care, and they do. My therapist cares a lot, and I'm thankful for that. Like, when I told him I made an attempt, he was surprised as hell, and he was taken aback, and he didn't like it.
Yeah.
He was worried about me. So, don't fear medication, is my biggest thing to say. And if you're drinking, that makes it 10 times worse. Yeah. I started after...
Or really any substance abuse.
Any substance abuse.
Yeah.
Like, if you're coating your emotions with weed, opiates, fucking benzos, whatever, you need to stop and you need to get help. Inpatient isn't like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. It isn't like that scene in Bronson.
It's actual, like, they're there to help
there's
you.
There's
no
people there
Nurse Ratched driving you fucking crazy because you can't watch the baseball game on TV.
Yeah. There's people there that are just like you. It's not... I mean, there are some people that scare you, and, like, I was threatened by a man that is schizophrenic. He thought I was saying things under my breath as I passed him, but I wasn't. And one day when I got off the phone with my psychiatrist, I turn around, and he's there standing, and he goes, "You got something to say?" I said, "No." He goes, "Because I think you got something to say." Nope. And then it was this whole thing. He tried to charge at me. A security guard got in the way. The other people in the unit kind of made a circle around me to defend me just in case. It was scary, but I knew I was safe.
Yeah. It was very low risk, I'd imagine, for anything serious. But, like, say they weren't there. Oof, who only knows. One thing that I was thinking about last night, after I was hanging out with Bowen and I was showing him On the Rocks and I was going to bed, is I feel as if I've failed you as a friend. One thing that I feel terrible about is the fact that, like, A, I'm not on the show that often because I'm doing stuff like this. Well, not like this, but like doing other work, trying to keep myself sane by like giving myself projects so I don't do what you're doing. No offense, but no, I do feel as if to some degree I have abandoned you. And like what made me upset last night was the fact that when I had found out that you had gone through this again, that you were going back to Shepherd Pratt, and I had like all this equipment out to finish On the Rocks, my reaction, and largely to everyone in the group, was like, well, I'm glad he's alive, but god fucking damn it. Like, son of a bitch. And that's not good. That's not.
Your reaction's your reaction.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was
you
like,
can't help
shit.
that. Yeah, no, I get that, because your work is your life.
Yeah, but like, it's not just the work thing. It was that, like, okay, we have to be honest, we've been here before. You have been to the point where you're like, okay, I fucked up, now it's time to get better. And my biggest concern is, are we going to see the other side again?
I hope I don't fall down that hole again. It's a huge possibility, and I'm scared that I'll be alone to deal with it like I was last time. And I mean that in a sense of I won't have a romantic companion to call on.
Yeah.
That's
because you need that. You need... There are times...
No, you don't need that. No one needs that. It's okay to be alone. Okay. And I'm trying to sit with myself in that. And my biggest fear is ending up alone and living with a cat and dog. Yeah. And it can't be that. That can't be my biggest fear, because that's a possibility. Yeah. So instead, this time around, if I do fall, instead of trying to reach out to a girl or someone that I have a romantic feeling for, I got to reach out to my friends, because they care more. Yeah. Your friends are more important than any girlfriend or boyfriend can be.
We get into a fight, I'm not going to stop talking to you again. I'll just be like, well, he's just being a dumbass, and then come back and we'll fuck around.
We'll apologize, have a cup of coffee.
Yeah, and do this.
I would say apologize and have a beer, but
yeah, that may not be the best. That may not be the smartest. No, yeah, and what I meant by when you need it is like you feel as though you need that, and I do at times too. I re-downloaded Tinder, I downloaded OkCupid. I'm like, I'm finding somewhere where I can just be like, hey, this is what's wrong with me. Let's fucking get this over with so I can try and move on. And that's not healthy. That's that's
called dependency. Yeah. And you're dependent. You believe your happiness is dependent on another person, and that's not true.
And I think, and for other people, and I think I believe everybody feels that to some degree. For me, I remember like, well, when was I happy? Oh, well, it was when I was when I had a girlfriend and everything, to me was going right. And that's you can't be dependent on someone, because you can't rely on them 24/7. You can't rely on a loved one, especially, to pour your garbage onto.
Your family and your closest friends that have been there for years are your... You want another?
Yeah, I'll take another.
Are your support.
Yeah.
Not a person you've been fucking and...
Yeah. Because at this point, like, it's likely we'll be together for as long as we live for, hopefully for a long time. Mm-hmm. And it's very likely you'll get another girlfriend, I'll get another girlfriend, and then that might go its own way. It may not, and we'll get another one, or whatever happens.
Because that shit
Try some gay stuff. I don't know. I don't know what I don't know what makes you feel happy.
Because that romantic shit, it can end like that. Yeah. I was in a 4-year relationship, and just out of nowhere she goes, I'm done. I thought we were doing groovy. I thought everything was cool, but she felt differently. Yeah. And you can't anticipate that shit. Yeah. So...
And with that, and with the friend thing, it's all about communication. It is all about just being honest.
Oh, I've learned some things about it. I did my wrongs in the relationship. I understand that. Yeah. And
because I think one thing that is...
I'm going to do it different.
Yeah. One thing I think that is incredibly healthy, or should be, is to not blame Caitlin. Like,
no.
This is not her fault.
No.
not to be mad at her and be like, and just, I mean, it's hard. Like, it is very, extremely hard to, like, stop caring about someone, especially in your case, where it was 4 years, and that is a very long time. For me, it was 4 months. Like, that's nothing. But, like, for 4 years to have that love, and, you know, to telling someone that you love them every day, and then just to end up out of nowhere one day, it just means fucking nothing.
Yeah.
Is a fucking huge blow. Like, you know. It would be weird if you weren't upset about it, is what it is. Yeah.
Well,
we'd be
she's not upset about it.
We would be concerned if you were perfectly fine, because then that means there might be some dead cat somewhere in the room.
But, I mean, now when I look back on the relationship, most of the memories I have are negative, or if there is a good memory, there's a negative one right around the corner. So it wasn't a good relationship, and, like, my favorite comedian Mark Maron once said, it takes two to toxic.
Yeah.
And
that just might be the subtitle for this.
It takes two to toxic, yeah. But my depression was a huge thing that ruined it because I was masking it and I was holding it in, and I would come out at her in passive aggressive ways and just be an asshole instead of actually being like, look, I'm uncomfortable with this, or look, this is how I feel.
Yeah.
I would just be passive aggressive. I mean, she has a new boyfriend now. I'm enraged and happy for her at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, good, you're happy, everything's going well. I hope life works out for you, but at the same time, I'm pissed off at the universe.
Yeah, because you're alone and you don't have that.
Yeah, she put me through, or at least started the snowball that was the worst 5-6 months of my life, whatever.
Yeah.
And she's perfectly fine, perfectly happy.
And we don't know that for sure. We don't know if she's perfectly fine.
True.
But the vision that you get through social media and stories is like, hey, she's doing fine and you're doing awful. And like, and that can even come from like just seeing their picture of them smiling on Snapchat or
exactly,
whatever. Like,
and that's what it was.
You only get like half of the story there. You know, you're getting the moment. So God only knows if she's actually truly.
For all I know, it could be based on unhealthy. Her relationship could be on unhealthy grounds.
Exactly, and like
she could be just jumping into something to
and like the hard truth and
even if she's not, like, I gotta be okay with that.
You're your own person. You
exactly.
have to,
I need to find happiness through my own means.
Exactly.
I need to find self-actualization.
There you go. Yes, exactly. And like this, there for you and I remember we talked about this before. When I like my darkest time in my life was near the end of high school. I think it was when it was my before the start of my super senior year when I was held back and I was just like, oh my god, I hate high school, I hate school, I hate my life, I've got fucking nothing going on, I want to get the fuck out of here, take my guitar, take my camera, and I'm gonna go do my own thing. That was my suicide. That was me killing Josh Yaskovich and coming up with somebody else.
Yeah.
Yours was just
literal suicide,
literal death. Yeah. And for what I realized then was, like I said, you know,
you got to be okay with yourself because no matter where, and this is from someone, a man named Sheldon that I met when I was in the loony bin.
Sheldon Cooper, of course.
Sheldon Cooper, of course. But Sheldon said something great. He goes, no matter where I go, I got to be able to deal with Sheldon. Yeah. I can go to the fucking moon, and Sheldon's still going to be there. I got to be okay with Sheldon.
Yeah.
And that resonated with me. Like, I got to be okay with myself. Like, for a while, I was planning on running away to Vegas and restarting my life. And that's not going to fix shit.
Oh yeah, I was going to run away to California and be homeless, and that would have been what saved me was going to the Korean Tech Center. Was putting everything I had into film and making that be who I was, which has its ups and downs, of course. Like I am very grateful, and including yourself, like that everybody is very supportive of what I do, and they for the most part like what I do. But like, it's not easy. It's like the most people who I have in my social circle, and I was telling this to Bowen last night. Most people that are considered my friend, I have worked with to some degree. Like with you guys, it's the podcast and the show. With Johnny and Garrett's, I've done music videos and I've shot shows with them. So I don't have very many friends where it's just like they don't need something from me, or they don't rely on me to make something for them, and it, you know. That sucks.
Well, after this, I don't rely on you for anything. That makes me feel better. I just wanted to do this little interview.
And I wanted to do this too because I do feel as if I've like neglected you, and I guess this is. Well,
don't.
Okay.
Because I should have if I was in a bad place, I should have reached out to you.
Okay. I don't know what advice I could have given you at the time. But...
Yeah, but I should have reached out to friends. I shouldn't have sat in silence. Yeah. That's the worst thing a depressed person can do is sit and suffer in silence.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And, like, I live my life by a lot of lyrics by Dylan, and the one that I have found to be the most true is, life is sad, life is a bust. All you can do is do what you must. You do what you must do, and you do it well. And that's all what I do.
Yeah.
If my social life isn't going good, then I turn it into a script, and I turn it into something, and I get it out that way. I do it in the most healthy way, you know.
Yeah, and I gotta start putting myself into my work, more of the podcasts and writing comedy.
With that said, like, you know, you can write scripts. I know for a fact that you're at least a visual artist to some degree. I've seen your art page. You're a very talented artist.
Thank you.
I think, like, you know, I think that what makes art valuable is its honesty and its truths, and to be able to put what you're going through into a piece of work is what would make it. I mean, it doesn't always make it good, but just being honest and writing what you know is the best thing to do.
Oh, definitely.
You know, it's to not put on airs and, like, stop trying to pretend like you know how something goes, rather of you just, you know, telling how it actually is and was. I think is the best thing. You know, whether it be in comedy, writing, or whatever you want to do.
Yeah, because my dream is stand-up comedian. I'd love to do that, and I have about 15 minutes of material that hasn't seen the light of day yet. And
I would love to hear that material.
Oh yeah, definitely. Maybe we'll make a video of that too, with no laughs and fucking awkward.
We go to a comedy club with nobody in it.
Yeah,
it's just me, Brooks, and Zach, and I'm just all the way in the back going, "Ha! I get it."
Yeah. But yeah, I haven't opened up that since she first left me.
Yeah.
And writing comedy made me feel so much better, and I don't know why I haven't gone back.
When and I could probably show this to you today, but, like, anybody who's watching this, you probably won't ever see this unless I actually put it out there. I showed Bowen a film where I did exactly that. I made a film with Zach called If You See Her, Say Hello, which the best way I can describe it is it's a prescription to my depression and a love letter to Bob Dylan at the same time.
Yeah.
It was I took the lyrics from If You See Her, Say Hello, and I built a script about it, and I put all my insecurities about relationships and all the problems that I had on the film, and I look at it now and I'm like, oh my god, it's angsty as hell and really gross. It's awful. Like,
I write poetry. No one's gonna, unless it's a lover and I'm trying to, like, seduce her.
Yeah.
No one's gonna see that poetry.
I don't know who's gonna be seduced by If You See Her, but, like, if they do, I gotta marry them.
If a girl reads my shit and is like, oh my god, you're such a tortured soul, I love you.
Fucking catch, and you can't let that one go. I'm kidding. But no, yeah, I think, like, you know, putting yourself into work like that is the best. Given that, because I think, and what I've realized is you and I are a lot more similar than we realize, like, in a lot of things.
We both wear glasses.
We both wear glasses. We know Sonic sucks, but we love Sonic. So cool.
Sonic's so great.
He's so cool, but God, he sucks. Like, you know. And because, like, that's the thing, man. If you go, who am I going to mention the Chow Garden to? I know what the fuck I'm talking about. You know, I have very few Sonic friends.
I didn't expect we get into Sonic territory.
Well, Sonic is very important, clearly.
Yeah, I'm glad we did, though. Put a smile on my face.
No, I mean, but, like, no, man. You were clearly beloved by this group. You're easily the most funny person on the show, and you've, like, completely taken my place on that show as the funny guy, I guess, or not the funny guy, but, like,
the loud guy,
the loud angry man, is what you talk. And I'm glad that's what you did, because but no, my effort for my New Year's resolution is to be on the show as much more as possible. I'm sorry I couldn't be on there today because
we didn't record today.
Okay, well, we were going to, and then I was just like,
and Zach was also sick.
Oh, he was? Okay, I didn't read the full messages. Well, good, but we can do it tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Tomorrow will be fine. And I was listening to the show, and it's very good. I like the formula. I was listening to the D&D one. But no, yeah, man. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad I don't have to write in memoriam on the rocks. I can actually show it to you and finish it and show you what we've done.
Yeah, and I saw it, and it's beautiful.
And that's something you should be immensely proud of that exists.
I am.
Because if it wasn't for you, that wouldn't be the way it is. Because when we were doing the rehearsals here, my whole thing was like, all right, I'll have Zach be it, and, like, Liam will be the bartender. He looks intimidating. He doesn't have to have that many lines. Even though if it was you, would have had that big monologue. But when I saw you as Greg, I realized then, I was like, no, he's perfect. And then later on, as editing it and getting to this point, I realized the reason why you were perfect for that was because you were literally the character.
I was the character.
Whether you knew it or not, you were able to do that quite well. It didn't
hit, when we first filmed, it didn't hit quite yet because everything was hunky-dory. But now I'm definitely in that spot where there was a time in my life where I was that character.
Yeah,
I was
you were Greg.
Drowning myself in alcohol. My relationship wasn't going well, and I was ready to die.
Yeah.
And I would have ended up at a bar drinking some weird fucking potion.
Yeah. And they were all just repeating your own personal hell.
Yeah.
Like, well, I'm here for you, Liam.
I'm here for you. I appreciate you doing this.
No, absolutely. But like, no, I you know, not only do I want to work with you more, but like, I do want to hang out with you more one-on-one and do things. And I would like to keep you busy somehow.
Yeah, definitely.
To keep your mind. Well, I mean, you know, they can't see on the camera here, but like, I am gonna take the bed and this is all gonna go into that one room that you saw that had all the clothes in it.
Yeah.
And then there's a room over here that just has fucking junk in it that I'm gonna turn into an actual studio. And like put all my equipment in there, then we can film stuff in there. We can, you know, if everybody's cool with it, record here sometimes if we have to.
I think what we're gonna do is when
Zach's got the apartment.
Zach's
right?
got the apartment. We're gonna I'm gonna put my equipment down in there. And, and that way we don't feel awkward walking in.
Yeah. I just need like a space I can bring people over to do like photo shoots and stuff.
Oh yeah. You want to go to a party?
Yeah. Let's do that. Well, this is good. This is a lot of fun. I like this.